Well, welcome back on this Wallet Wednesday. You know, it is that time of the year when love is really in the air.
From Valentine's to engagement season and those spring weddings, maybe you're tying the knot or you're thinking about taking the next step in your relationship. And while it's not always the sexiest topic to bring up, finances should be an important part of that conversation.
Yeah, definitely not the sexiest, no. Charlene Quaresma is a Northwestern Mutual financial advisor. She's here with more on the money talks that you need to have before you say I do. Good morning, Charlene.
Good morning.
Good morning. I think I've seen that, finances can be one of the leading causes of like divorce, money issues. So how does having a wedding and getting married really change your financial picture for just, from the get-go?
You are so correct. I always like to say romance without finance is a nuisance.
Yeah.
And I think the more you start having these conversations, really the better. And, there's a difference between a wedding and marriage. Wedding is a day, but, couples definitely spend a lot of time having those financial discussions, talking about budgets, what's important, what they could do without, they can't compromise on. And I think it's important to really continue having those conversations throughout your life through marriage. Though it's not sexy, to your point, marriage is actually a contract, if you think about it. And as my mom likes to say, marriage is not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 30-70, sometimes it's 60-40, but I think it's really important to really talk about, what are your goals? How are you guys moving in that direction? How are you going to accomplish the things that you want to do? And of course, I highly recommend speaking with a professional like myself, because sometimes we could really navigate some of those conversations, almost act like a mediator, ask those questions. Everyone could feel heard and listened to, and then we can develop a plan to get you to where you want to go.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, these are just tough conversations to have. They're stressed about having them. It can be a really fraught conversation. So what are some of the big financial issues that couples should be talking about? If there's a few topics, like what do you want to make sure people really decide to bring up?
I think first it's important to realize that money is emotional. So it's not just about something that's on a balance sheet as it is, what do you identify? Where is their value? And so I think that one of the big topics to really talk about is, again, what are those financial goals? When we talk about buying a big house or starting a family, these are definitely things that couples talk about and dream about before they get married and when they get married. But then really, what does that look like? Is one of you going to put your career on hold to raise a family? What happens if your career takes you to another state? If you are looking to start a family, does it make sense to move closer to, one of your parents or your in-laws? I think first and foremost, identify your goals and make sure you guys are living the same life. If one person doesn't want to have kids, that isn't a financial piece. That's something that is pretty non-negotiable.
Yeah.
To another person.
Well,
And then, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Finish.
I was going to say, I think that the other thing is debt. Debt can really weigh on someone, and what someone thinks is a lot of debt versus someone thinks that's not a lot of debt. Those are important things to have those conversations. How are you going to manage that? Are you going to address it before you get married? Are you going to do it while you get married? Because once you get married, in the eyes of the law and that contract, it's kind of the same thing. And what I mean by that is, let's say you do want to buy a dream house and you both are on the same page with that financial goal, but one of you has a lot of credit card debt that makes good money, but all of that money is going to debt repayments. And maybe your credit score is now a 580 where your partner is a 720. Well, then the conversation becomes, if we don't manage this debt as we're building this life, maybe we'll have to buy a smaller house, or maybe we're paying a higher interest rate, or maybe they're not on the loan. So these are conversations of really, I think the more that you can come together and solve some of these, not issues, but just the reality of what your situation is really going to better you as you move forward together as a unit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you about was, what do you do if you say your partner has terrible credit, you have good credit? Is that something that people oftentimes don't find out until they are married and it's too late? Maybe they're looking into buying a house and their credit reports are both staring at them in the face.
Well, I would always say it's never too late to have these discussions and build a plan around it. But yeah, I think to your point, it's like, oh, they're a Sagittarius, but no one ever is like, what's your sign? What's your credit score? Those
Right.
are not those sexy conversations. But again, it's never too late. And I think, again, meeting with a financial advisor, wealth management advisor like myself can really help plan for those big ticket items and work towards those goals. It's never too late. We can create something like, a debt snowball, which is paying the highest, the smallest balance off first, or do a debt avalanche, which paying the highest interest rate off first. So again, it's really just not really having the guilt or the shame or resentment around it. Let's look at what was the past and what are you doing in the present to build a better future.
Okay, I'm gonna start asking on dates. So, what's your credit score?
I mean,
that's going to be my new go-to question. We'll see what we find out. Charlene, thanks so much for the advice. Great to talk with you this morning.